Hi, welcome to the Market Alert for the 6th of January 2023. So stocks and bonds dump on good job news, rate hike odds jump. A strong job market means it's a good time to fight inflation. Yes, it's getting interesting out there, particularly today with the non-farm payrolls. US stocks were lower Thursday after hot employment data kept hawkish pressure on the Fed. And hot ADP and lower jobless claims flattens bonds and hits stocks. And if we just have a look at that, let me just refresh this page, and you will see the that's gone to today. Just go back. ADP came out at 235, forecast at 152. So today the only news item worth looking at is the non-farm payrolls. We have got ISM at 3 p.m. as well, but the forecast is 200,000, previous 263. If it's anywhere near this number, the market's going to explode higher for sure. And if it's above 263, then they'll revise it down like they have done for the last 3 occasions. So it's sort of a win-win for the stock market, if you like, unless it's really big. I mean, if this came out at 400,000, then it would send the market into free fall. But I doubt that's very much going to happen. So yeah, it will be interesting. If, like I say, if it's higher than 2,000, the market will shake out to the downside like it did yesterday and then bounce back. But there's certainly an interesting divergence at the moment between the DAX and the Dow. The Dow can barely move, and yet the DAX is moving up strongly, going back to the recent highs, as is the FTSE 100, where it continues to move higher as well. But the odd thing about the German DAX, given that interest rates are so small in the Eurozone and inflation continues to rise, unemployment, etc., and yet the DAX continues to pound on. And also it's next door to a war zone. Well, there you go. It just goes to show, doesn't it, what sort of manipulation can be pulled off these days. Let's have a look at the Dow and all of the other stock markets and see what we can expect from today's non-farm payrolls. So in the Dow, as I mentioned a moment or two ago, we're stuck in this sideways range still, making no progress to the upside for the Dow. And yesterday, you can see that the market selling off and continuing after the ADP down to the S2 before the market bounced back up to Wednesday's low. And Wednesday's low also ties in now with the DP, and still looking a bit weakish overnight for the Dow. Meanwhile, in the German DAX, let's go to the daily chart. Like I say, heading for the 89% retracement, which I mentioned yesterday. There was a bit of some selling yesterday, trying to hold the market, which they managed to do so. But overnight, prices are storming ahead, which can be seen by the 13-minute chart there. Nice move to the upside. Despite the fact that the Dow is stuck in a sideways range, we're also through yesterday's high as well, and they bought back above the high. However, one caveat, when the news is going to be released today, you don't want to be in the market. So if there are any trades this morning, then you want to be out before the main news hits at 1:30. Be foolish to stay in during this sort of economic news item, unless you have several hundred points of profit, but then it'd be silly to give that up and risk that in the event that the market actually sailed to the downside. So what can we expect before the release of the non-farm payrolls? Well, the market's likely to trade sideways to higher, isn't it, given the pattern that we've already got? But you never know, that's for sure. But it's going to be interesting at 1:30. That's guaranteed today. 5-minute chart overnight, you can see how the market's piling on the points there. And let me just reset this. And you can see there that overnight it's been marching up good, just under 100 points overnight. And yesterday you can see the market's reaction to the ADP numbers, and then the market moving sharply to the upside. But yesterday stuck in a sideways range, and I expect this morning isn't going to be too dissimilar as the market opens at 8 a.m. So at the moment just sideways there to higher in the German DAX. Watch the high See if the market finds support. It's already found support there after breaking through there as well with increased volume. In the S&P, similar to the Dow, stuck in a sideways range, can't make any progress to the upside. Maybe today is what is needed for these two markets, the Dow and the S&P, to actually break to the upside and see a significant move. Yesterday you can see the market reaction to the ADP, not really gained much overnight. Futures buying, which is what the DAX has moved higher on the back of, as we've seen. FTSE making new highs, recent highs, as can be seen there. Let me just draw this in for you. So we're through the high here, and again, if we have good news today, this will continue to move higher. So have a look at the weekly chart for the FTSE. Have I got one? Yeah, there we go. So let me just move this down. So we can see we've got a lot of resistance in this area, which we're just approaching at the moment. We're through the 89 in the weekly chart, so still making good progress. Plenty to the upside if we break through this area as well. Let me just squeeze this up a bit more and have a look, see where we're looking at. So yeah, we're going all the way back to March, this time last year. There you can see the breakout of the war, and we've made our way back ever since for the FTSE 100 there. In the GBP, sideways to higher, again waiting for those numbers today. 30-minute chart, we spiked to the upside, then we dropped down to the DP, but overnight the market has moved back to the upside. Obviously, let's say awaiting this news, the dollar is moving higher on the ADP numbers because there's, as it said in the headlines, prospect of a rate hike coming. And also you can see the pound under pressure below the 50 EMA in the daily chart. And yesterday selling off after the ADP numbers were released, down 120 points plus there. And at the moment currently at yesterday's close. So again, if you trade the currencies, you'll want to watch the dollar at 130. And speaking of the dollar, there you can see the market's reaction yesterday, moving up sharply, and overnight the dollar continuing to move higher too. And if the dollar's moving higher, then metals come under pressure. Silver down overnight and yesterday, not overnight, down yesterday on that ADP news, but up on the overnight at the moment. Not a lot, but moving up off yesterday's close. There you can see the market's reaction, but we did get a bounce back to 23.50, but the markets are then trading down towards the S3 and managing just to move up slightly. Gold is certainly stronger at the moment than the silver market, as can be seen here. We're only down for the 1 day, where silver's been down for 2. And in the 30-minute chart, you can see that reaction to the ADP. If you look at the gold-silver ratio before we conclude, you will see this happening with the gold-silver ratio moving back to the upside there in response to the far more weakness in silver than gold. And that's reflected there, moving back up to 78 from around the 75 level. Okay, that's a quick roundup of events and what we can expect at 1:30. So let's wait and see what happens. So yeah, as ever, thanks for watching. See you in the next one.